hey dude, Flix Anonymous. I don't know, it's just awesome.
Yeah, well, you know, that's just like your opinion, man.
Human beings were not meant to sit in little cubicles staring at computer screens all day.
Plan B is just to keep on giving her. Like, you work hard. That's what... Is that a plan? Yeah, that's a plan right there.
A guy opens his door and gets shot, you think that of me. No. I am the one who knocks.
I know what you're thinking. I've kind of lost track myself. Being this is a 44 Magnum, the most powerful handgun in the world, and would blow your head clean off. You've got to ask yourself one question. Do I feel lucky? Well, do you, bunks?
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Flix Anonymous. Always caught in the hockey talk, like right before we go on the camera, we're just like talking about, I don't know.
We're ranting about the Colorado Avalanche.
And like Enforcer's kids, we're talking about Max Domi and stuff. Like,
yeah.
Or are we talking about movies? Like, what?
Yeah, well, this is episode 33.
That is, yes.
And after goaltender Patrick Waugh.
Yeah, we're the Patrick Waugh episode now.
So we right before we come on, we riff a little bit, and we're like, whoa, episode 33, what hockey number, what kind of hockey player do we think of at 33? And we thought Patrick Waugh.
Yeah,
That's
we actually
led us into our conversation about the Colorado Avalanche as we were counting down.
Yeah, we actually set up a divider in between us, and we shoved it back and forth towards this, like Bruce Boudreau.
I was Boudreau to your Waugh.
Yeah, I was really mad with it. But yes, episode 33 of Flix Anonymous. I'm Steve Stebbing. This here's Trevor Dueck. And of course, you can see our show on cannabisincanada.ca, theleagueofmanchildren.com, and thedailyhive.com. And we also feature on another Friends podcast, the Toddcast podcast with Todd Hancock. And every week we do what we call the Flix Picks Movie Minute.
Yeah.
And we've been doing this since February. Our first one was Deadpool. And the one that you can listen to this week is Finding Dory.
Yeah. So basically what we do is just hype up movies that we think look interesting for the week, and Finding Dory was one of them, and we got to see that tonight.
Yeah, exactly. So that's exactly what we're delving into. There's only 2 wide releases this week, so you know, the fish of Finding Dory are taking on The Rock this week. So that's weird. Anyway,
the People's Elbow versus Nemo.
It's hard to give the People's Elbow underwater.
Yeah,
we'll say I've tried. But this is just a massive cast. Of course, Ellen DeGeneres and Albert Brooks are returning as the lead characters Dory and Marlin. And here's a look at Finding Dory.
9, 10, ready or not? Wait, what am I doing?
You're searching!
Oh, that's right. Here I come. Ooh, I bet someone's hiding in that house. Ouch. Oh, I bet someone's hiding in that house.
Oh, Dory, are you okay? Oh, let's cover that. It'll get better quicker.
Wait, what were we doing?
Hide and seek.
Oh, that's right. Ready or not, here I come.
Guys, I'm still hiding.
That's kind of funny.
Yeah,
because that wasn't in.
That's
the
not
movie.
in the movie. I think this is part of a promo or something. It's really hard to find a clip for this fucking movie.
Yeah.
But
that's a good introduction to characters for sure.
And I believe in that Toddcast podcast spot that we did that we were like, this could be good. People have been waiting 13 years for this movie. It's 2003 was the last was Finding Nemo. So saw the first trailer. It was like, okay. Saw the second trailer. I'm like, oh shit, this looks like very much like a rehash of the first movie, but swap out Nemo, put in Dory.
I don't know. I don't know. Pixar is usually pretty good. They don't give a lot away sometimes in their trailers, and I know with this one for sure, I'm sure they kept it very simple.
Yeah.
That final the film is not by any means simple.
Yeah. Well, in the final trailer, I was like, got more of an idea what the real story was, and I was like, oh no, this is actually really interesting, and this is actually a piece of Finding Nemo that we don't know. Because when Marlin finds Dory, they crash into each other, and then boom, you're off on to find Nemo. You don't get much of Dory's story, but now we do get that.
We get the other side.
Yes.
How she ended up crashing into him.
Yeah, exactly. And the lead up to that, like from a child, like how does she lose her family? And then this story is about how does she regain and find her family once again. This movie's fun. This movie's a lot of fun. Of course, it's always going to be tough to recapture exactly that first film. I think it does quite a nice job. Not quite as great, but still fun. Like, still fun. I would watch it again for sure.
Yeah, and a ton of heart in the film, just like the original had. And I think it stands alone as its own movie. I don't think it needed to be, you know, it had the same spirit of the first one, but Finding Dory, I think, stands alone as its own film. The animation is incredible.
Yeah.
The short before, Pixar always does shorts before their films, and the short that they did before was called Piper.
Oh,
that was
gorgeous.
That was some crazy gorgeous animation that they were laying down there,
and some real soul to it. As well.
Yeah. And but back to Finding Dory, the animation though, it's so advanced now that even, you know, compared to 13 years ago, it's just crazy. And I like how it's a crazy good animation, but they still kind of stay true to the style of the original film.
Yeah.
Right, but if you were to compare both of them, you could definitely see how we've gone 13 years.
Underwater movements, kelp movements, all that kind
Everything,
of stuff.
the details.
It's gone up quite a bit.
Fairly advanced.
But our characters still look like they're supposed to look.
Yeah.
So, I think all ages are really going to enjoy this one. I'm hovering at a 4.5 out of 5. That's where I'm going.
Yeah. I think I'm going to go with a 4 out of 5. It's not a perfect film,
no,
by any means. I had some really good chuckles.
Yeah.
There were some times where I felt things were a little bit forced, but and you know, kind of, I don't know, just some of the story stuff. Some of the stuff in the story I thought was a little bit too convenient. How she ended up going from water to water, different. It just seemed a little bit scrambled. But for the most part, though, it's a very entertaining film. Kids are going to love it. Take your family to it.
Exactly.
4 out of 5.
It took them 13 years to get to this point, so they probably knew somewhat
It's
of what they
not
were
Cars
doing.
2.
No.
It's not Cars 2. It's not even
like,
Monsters University.
Right, let's make Lightning McQueen a spy, because whatever.
Yeah.
Because reasons.
But Pixar has done a great job with their sequels in the past with Toy Story, so I knew we were in good hands.
Even films that have problems, like Good Dinosaur, they can still put out and they still garner good interest.
Kids love that movie.
Exactly.
It's on Netflix right now, by the way. Good Dinosaur,
exactly.
but yeah.
Yeah. All right, so let's move on to the other wide release this week, and this is Kevin Hart pairing up with another person. Like, it's starting to become the thing. Like,
Kevin Hart's the buddy.
Who the fuck do we put Kevin Hart with? Like, we are like 6 movies away from Kevin Hart and Gilbert Gottfried in a movie together and annoying the fuck out of you for an hour.
It'll be written by Adam Sandler.
Oh, God. But this pairing, I'm okay with, because they paired him up with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, and
the biggest guy they could find.
I'm waiting for Hart and Shaq, and then Shaq just carries him around in a Baby Bjorn the whole time. Why not? But I love The Rock. I have such a weakness for The Rock, so I'm still kind of interested in this one. So check out a clip for Central Intelligence.
I'm gonna need your tie.
No.
Your necktie, take it off.
No, I'm not taking my tie off.
Come on, Jet.
Don't do that.
That's good. Save it. Oh, save it, Jet.
What? Fine, take it. Take it.
Just right over
you
here.
Can
How can you stop him?
Listen to me. Listen. Stop. I need to know what is happening right now.
Okay. You know what? Moving too fast. Bottom line, are you in or are you out?
What are you talking? In or out of what?
No time for questions. Just action. In or out.
Okay. Well, then I'm out.
I'm sorry, Jet. Actually, you're already in.
Okay, then why would you ask me?
Because I thought you would go, I'm in, Bob, and we would have had a really cool moment, but you kind of ruined the whole thing.
Okay. Listen to me right now, Bob. I don't know what it is that you're into, but what I do know is that I am really 100% out.
How do they explain the fact that The Rock has a Brahma bull tattoo in every movie?
I don't know.
He just got that, and it's just like,
It's his trademark.
It is his trademark.
It's his branding.
And the tribal tattoo that he has as well. They don't usually blank that one out as well. Because I think even in Ballers, he has all his tattoos still.
Yeah, man.
Like,
why not?
Whatever.
It's The Rock. Is The Rock doing The Rock?
Yeah. I'm sold on The Rock side. And Kevin Hart, don't get me wrong, I don't dislike Kevin Hart. He's been a little grating to me over a little bit, because it feels like every time you turn around every few months that there's Kevin Hart on a movie poster.
Or doing a comedy special. Or
Yeah.
There's a lot of Kevin Hart. We're over Hart saturated.
Yeah, and I mean, they didn't push Cedric the Entertainer this hard. Like the original Kings of Comedy, they didn't push those guys that hard. Like Steve Harvey. Well, Steve Harvey did his own job to make him go away. Miss America, everybody. But I mean, I don't know. I feel there's an oversaturation. He seems to be the only stand-up comic that they're really pushing on a huge level.
It's a heart attack.
Oh fuck.
Sorry, I couldn't help myself.
Oh, recovery time. I'm back. All right. Central Intelligence. It comes from the director Rostin Marshall Thurber, which is a mouthful to say.
Who?
Rostin Marshall Thurber. Thurber. He directed We're the Millers a couple of years back.
Funny movie.
A movie that definitely did well. People definitely liked that one.
Stoner
but going
flick.
way back, he did Dodgeball, a true underdog story.
Another great stoner flick.
Yeah, fun one. Pirate Steve.
Oh, I'm all over this then.
Yeah.
Seriously.
So this one should be fun. It was written by Ike Barinholtz and David Stason, who were actually signed to do a film called Police Academy: The Next Generation.
Oh, are they doing another Police Academy?
They're going to do another Police Academy, yeah.
Nothing sacred, eh?
I don't know. Yeah, there's nothing sacred.
Let's be honest, though. Police Academy went downhill pretty quick.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Like after 2, who cares anymore?
Yeah.
If you don't have Bobcat Goldthwait, get the fuck out. Honestly.
Yeah, no kidding. And the guy who makes the noises. He was also in Spaceballs.
Michael Winslow.
Yeah, thank you.
Good old Michael Winslow. Where's that guy? We should.
I love how I can just say that. The guy that does the thing. You're like Michael Winslow.
We should bring Michael Winslow should just be like sitting here the whole time.
Just make
every
sound
episode.
effects.
Just like, hey, Trevor. And we're just like, hey, that's why he's here. I would say this. Why not check this one out? This one would be fun. I mean, you maybe on a cheap night, don't go VIP and go all out and stuff. Like,
I don't know. This is a sit at home watch
that's
type
probably
film.
it. Yeah, that's probably
Totally
more of
is.
it. Yeah, couch lock,
bong
your
hits,
couch.
whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Late night.
I forgot to say what Dory's trending at Rotten Tomatoes is.
What do we got? What's the Rotten
92
saying?
for Dory.
92 for Dory.
And a 75 on Meta.
Okay, which is right along where we're at.
Not bad. There's nothing for Central Intelligence yet. When you're watching this episode now on a Friday, there probably is. So go check that out and see what everybody else is saying about it, but we didn't get to check it out.
Yeah, Finding Dory, though, is worth seeing in the movie theater.
Definitely.
With the 3D and everything. It's gorgeous to look at. So,
Definitely.
Yeah.
All right, so let's head into our limited releases, and these ones are movies that you're going to want to check your local listings to see if they're playing
Gotta
near
search.
you.
Find
You're
them.
going to have to search deep for these ones.
It's like geocaching.
That's exactly how. With sometimes with that exact reward. So the first one is it's a biopic. The film is called Genius. It's about a book editor. It's about a book editor in the 1920s named Max Perkins, who is responsible for editing books by Ernest Hemingway and F. Scott Fitzgerald, and takes on the very loose cannon writer of Thomas Wolfe in the film Genius. Here's a look.
This book,
You saw this?
Yeah, I did.
is dedicated
So jealous.
to Maxwell Everett.
Their performance are like Jude Law is like Academy Award worthy.
Brave.
He's and of course
An
Firth
honest
is
man.
great.
Who stuck to the writer of this book through times of bitter hopelessness. The author hopes this book will prove worthy of him.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was an interesting enough film just for the character interaction, the character drama, because it's really about these two men at the top of it. I mean, of course, there are the significant others in this one, like Nicole Kidman plays Jude Law's older girlfriend, and Laura Linney plays Firth's wife.
Okay.
And then you get to see F. Scott Fitzgerald, who Guy Pearce plays in the movie.
Oh,
then,
Guy Pearce?
Yeah, and he's got probably about 5 scenes in the movie.
Okay.
And then Dominic West from The Wire appears as Ernest Hemingway for one quick scene. And it was like a celebrity spotting for me. I was like, as soon as I saw him, I was like, Ernest Hemingway. this is cool. This is cool.
You
'Cause
totally,
I
geeked out.
I find Hemingway very interesting. Not, of course, as a writer, but as a person too. I think he's so interesting, and they really need to make a newer Hemingway film, like a newer adaptation.
To remind people of the greatness.
Of how much of a rock star he was, too.
Totally.
Like, he was just all over the place. So I think that would be really interesting. But the issue, I mean, it's a first-time director. His name is Michael Grandage. He's a stage director.
Okay.
So a first time, and
so is the film very much blocked like a
yeah,
stage
very
play?
much, because I mean it's very monochromatic. Like there's not a lot of monochromatic. So there's a lot of grays and whites and blacks and stuff like that. So not a lot of deep color in that because it's just before it's like roughly around the Depression and everything in New York.
So it's giving it that hue, that tone.
Yeah, but they don't delve into the problems of the society at the time. Of you know,
it's more in the background
of the work shortage. Yeah, exactly. It's more just about these two guys meeting and creating books together, and how Thomas Wolfe kind of like how he accepted being like the talked about author and everything, and how it affected his ego and all that kind of stuff. So
and how he hated his stuff being edited, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, this guy come in with 5,000 pages,
crazy,
to be edited down over a period of years.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting story, and as a writer standpoint, that's very fucking interesting too. So yeah, I thought Genius was good. It wasn't great. I give it a 3 out of 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm still gonna check it out.
Yeah, I'd say you definitely be interested in checking it out just for that aspect to it. The creative aspect to it is very interesting, especially the editors. You never get a movie from the point of view of the editor.
No.
So
the editors are so important.
They are, but they're villainized.
There should be more movies about editors. At least I've had good ones. So.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're very villainized too outside of everything, but so to get almost a love story to one. Interesting enough stuff.
For like great authors like that, can you imagine?
Yeah, that's crazy. All right, so let's move on to the next one. This movie is called The Steps. It stars Jason Ritter and Emmanuel Triqui, who people may know as Sloane from Entourage. And this is a Canadian-made film from a director that I really liked in the mid-2000s, and I'll talk more about him in a second. This film is called The Steps. Here's a look.
The Steps.
Could you just remind Alex that I'm still waiting out here?
Gabrielle Miller from Corner Gash, you owe me in the very beginning.
Yes?
Yeah, he's
as the secretary.
Alex is
nameless secretary.
Jeff's life.
Oh, I hate this voiceover voice.
Hey, let me go.
But he could always count on family.
Hey, sis.
It's as you know, wants to fly us out to meet his new wife and her kids.
To make things worse.
Your brothers are here. This is my son, Jeff, and my daughter,
Marla.
Marla, of course. Jerry, planning this whole big full weekend of fun.
They are your stepbrothers, Jeff.
No, they're not. They're your new wife's kids. Yeah, we're playing paintball.
Yeah, paintball! Woo!
Hey, Lapdog. Ouch. Oh my God!
Isn't Marla pretty?
I don't know. She looks hungover.
That's just what people look like in New York City.
Sherry has brainwashed him, and she's turned him into this
Soft, sappy sap.
Now he's all full of light and love.
And probably Viagra.
Wait for my signal.
What signal?
Bruce Lee.
Oh, so awkward.
Wow. Okay.
They're dicks.
I know.
All of them.
They're awful.
That's a really bad trailer.
Yeah, the voice guy.
Oh, I hate
and he was
that
only
voiceover.
he was the voiceover guy was only in there for the
One
first
day
2
in
seconds.
Canada.
Now they're back.
Fuck off. Like, seriously. Like,
falling in love all over again.
Steve Stebbing and Trevor Dueck host a show on the Cannabis in Canada network.
That's
like,
fuck. But that voiceover was only there in the trailer for the
just
first
like
2
the
seconds.
first beat, and then they fired him apparently in the middle of the trailer.
They couldn't afford any more voiceover. They only had him for
I'm done.
10 seconds worth of work.
It is okay. So the steps. It's basically about the blending of two families when the mother of one family and the father of the other family get together. But these kids are grown adults, so it's tougher to blend a family when you're grown ass adults. So they're trying to blend these families because they have this idea that they want to adopt this 7-year-old girl from China. So they need everything to work out so that they exactly swerve. That
wasn't even.
I know they didn't even put that in the trailer at all. But it's all about these kids, and they're all kind of dysfunctional, fucked up in their own ways.
Yeah.
I mean, Jason Ritter is an investment banker who is
banker.
He's on hard times.
On hard times.
And Emmanuel Shriequi is like a party girl that just has no direction in her life. And then Christine Lottie's character's kids. The oldest kid is he's a burnout former musician. The other one owns a
That's
paintball,
everybody in Vancouver,
right? He owns a paintball acreage called Balls.
Of course he does.
And then the youngest son, because they all have different fathers, the youngest son is half East Indian, and his father was a con artist, and now he's trying to get his MBA, and he's also trying to track down his father or whatever. So it's a dysfunctional comedy of errors, essentially. It's a screwball comedy. I thought it was okay. It's enjoyable. Me and the wife watched it. We laughed a bunch of times during the movie. A solid 3 out of 5. But it comes from the director Andrew Curry, who did a movie in the mid-2000s, filmed in Kelowna, called Fido. With Billy Connolly, it's a 1950s movie where Billy Connolly plays a domesticated zombie. There's been a zombie outbreak, but now they use the domesticated zombies for butlers and housework and stuff like that. It's really funny. I recommended it a shitload when I was working at the video store. And I was looking for, as soon as I saw Andrew Curry's name on this one, I was like, oh, okay, cool, I know this guy. Yeah. And I was pleasantly surprised with a pretty funny movie. So
The Steps.
Steps is an interesting movie, so look for that one wherever you
dig
live.
Deep.
Yeah, dig deep for that one. All right, so this next one we've both seen. We both got a chance to check it out. And it's a documentary, and something that the regular listeners of our show would probably know is that me and Trevor both love film documentaries.
Yeah.
Anything revolving film. And this one involves film fandom, and anything that you've done out there that you're like, I'm the biggest fan of something movie, this movie would put all of that shit to shame, because 3 boys in 1982 decided to remake, shot for shot, their favorite movie, Raiders of the Lost Ark, and what they came up with is the story of that is shown in Raiders, the story of the greatest fan film ever made. Check it out.
Okay, so this is the 5th and final boulder after 4 unsuccessful attempts.
We started first year, stayed up in Chris's room, building this boulder out of crisscross bamboo stalks, duct tape, and cardboard.
When they finished it, there was no way to get it out of the room. It was just stuck in there.
Boulder number 2, cable spool.
Boulder number 2.
Boulder
I
number
love
3,
that it didn't even stay in the track.
high weather balloon. Boulder number 4, chicken wire.
A hurricane came through and sucked it, literally.
Boulder number 5.
This one.
I met a man who did fiberglass work.
Was it 4 years in at this point? We finally had our 6-foot-high spherical boulder.
So this is where I had the grocery cart, and I was pushing Jason and the grocery cart down the length of the driveway.
Four years later, they finally had their ball.
Yeah, exactly. Like they and the sequence of them trying to film different things in the movie, kind of some were chronological, and some were just what they could do at the time, and some had reasons behind it. Like he just wanted to kiss a girl, so he brought this girl that he had a crush on to play Marion in the movie, and I was like, no, I gotta film this scene right now. And it has, of course, in that movie, you remember the love scene in that movie, Indy gets shirtless and all that stuff. So it's just like, this is where I get the girl. And I mean, the inner teenager, the inner middle schooler is just like, yeah, buddy, go for it.
The little inner film nerd in me, because I spent a lot of time in high school in the film room, in the film program.
Yeah, exactly.
So I can totally understand that guy.
This one gave me like nostalgic inspiration. You know what I mean? Like I was like, fuck, I wish I would have done something like that. Like I felt connected to their nerddom and their love for it. And of course, it goes into like tragic avenues and stuff like that with the splintering of friendships, the splintering of lives and everything. And then they come back and they do that final scene they weren't able to make in 2014 due to with a Kickstarter campaign. And I don't know. I felt this one was really interesting, especially from such a film buff point of view. I really dug this one, and I could really the guys were kind of very humanized in the film, and I dug that.
Yeah, and how basically we got to watch them grow up.
It's like Boyhood, but through Indiana Jones.
Yeah. Man. It's just weird to see them so young, and you see them grow up because they spent so many years dedicated to making this film, and then, like you said, something happened, and they splintered a bit, and then to be able to come back together and
due to
finally,
like fandom, like newfound fandom of other people that saw this film, like through Ain't It Cool News' Harry Knowles or
there was many
Eli
write-ups
Roth.
about him.
Yeah, and of course Tim at the Alamo Draft House became very involved in it and everything. So yeah, it is interesting, I thought.
Yeah, and then the ending was. The ending was crazy.
I couldn't even.
We won't
I don't
say
even
anything.
want to say what happened, but you cannot predict what happens when they're trying to complete this last. Like you cannot even like imagine it.
It's kind of perfect.
It is actually really perfect. But these guys are really interesting. I look forward to one day talking to them because I think they're very interesting.
Quickly, it reminded me of another film about these two dudes who were making the horror film. And I'm putting you on the spot.
Yeah, you are.
Okay, we'll get back to it.
Yeah.
I'm going to think about it. I'll find it.
Is it a scripted film or is it a documentary?
Documentary.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. You totally put me on the spot on that.
So I know, but I was just because it came to me, like flash.
Yeah. The Rotten Tomatoes, it's had I think there's a dozen reviews, all good reviews. So it's sitting at 100%, and on Meta it's 76 right now. I'm going with a 4 to 5 of this one. I really liked it.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with 3 to 5. Thought it dragged a little bit at times, but I was entertained, and I'm a sucker, man. I'm a sucker for those documentaries, like you're saying. So I enjoyed it.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so this next one, unfortunately, my contact was unable to secure a screener for this one. I was really looking forward to it. It's a Brazilian film called Neon Bull, and the Rotten Tomatoes score on this one's 92%, and the Metascore is 82. So it's doing very, very, very well. But you look for this one in your local area. Here's a clip from it. Stripper with a horse head? Or sorry, exotic dancer. I won't say stripper. That's very demeaning. But she's an exotic dancer.
You can't call them strippers?
Oh, you don't call it burlesque dancer a strip. They're an exotic dancer, right?
I wouldn't call a burlesque dancer a full stripper, no.
No, that's
But a stripper who gets, or a person who
someone
goes
working
and
at,
gets naked, male
someone
or
working
female.
at Number 5 Orange is a stripper, right?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
But somebody,
not saying that they're not.
Somebody playing the Biltmore as part of a show is an exotic dancer.
But I don't mean stripper as a derogatory term.
No, it's not a derogatory term.
Well, okay, you're just making it sound like it is.
It's just in the 80s, it was like, you're dating a stripper, like in movies and stuff like that. Like think of all those old 80s comedies and stuff. It was like always meant to be a derogatory term. But I think that probably turned around in the new millennium, probably. We're talking over that dance.
Well, that was an interesting clip, Steve.
That was a really interesting
Why did you bring that one, Steve?
Because it was the shortest clip that was there.
Sure,
Everything
Steve.
else was 2.5 to 3 minutes. And as we may have learned from the Lost in Translation clip
I'm going to put an exotic dancer on the screen. That's our clip.
Hey.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. Did the horse head help? Was that the thing that was helping on that one?
I like that. That was kind of cool. I'm trying to find that documentary, by the way. I will find it at some point.
The movie sounds really interesting because it's, like I said, it takes place in Brazil. It's a Brazilian-made film, but it's basically about a trio of people that work for a rodeo, and the rodeo doesn't pay well. So one of the people, her other job is she's an exotic dancer.
Right.
So she wants to also, she sees that there is a boom in the fashion industry. And in Brazil, fashion is a big thing. So I was like, maybe I should move into this direction to maybe earn some money. So that's the basic storyline. I really can't give you a review on it because I haven't seen it, but just to know that this film is out there for you to check out. And it's called Neon Bull, and I really like the poster as well. So check that one out online when you can. And another one that's playing for us very limitedly at a beautiful theater in the city that we are. I love this theater, the Rio Theater. It's a film called A Tempest Storm, and it's made by a British Columbian filmmaker. Her name is Nimisha Mukherjee, and she's telling the true story, the true life story of one of the most famous burlesque dancers in the world. Her name is Tempest Storm. Here's a look at the trailer right here.
Las Vegas, Sin City, my city. The stage was my home when I didn't have a home. The audience was my family when I didn't have a family. And I'm not letting the curtain fall yet. I've got things left to do. Some call me the queen of exotic dancing. Queen of burlesque, still at it at 85.
The legend who needs no introduction, Tempest Storm!
The biggest props
The
in
reporter
Hollywood.
asked me, what do you think
That's what
about
they
on
said about
stage?
her.
I feel just like Muhammad
Props.
Ali. I'm the greatest.
Tempest Storm is easily the reigning superstar of burlesque.
She was a class act, and when she took her clothes off, it was almost artistic.
Elvis came in to see the show, climbed over the fence, split his pants. I said, well, I didn't have to undress you. Teaserama was the movie that I made with Betty Page. She played my maid.
That self-confidence, that attitude speaks volumes about her relevancy today.
Did I officially retire? I never retired from burlesque. But sometimes I wonder, was it really worth it?
White stripper marries Negro, I think is the way it was worded on the front page.
That didn't go over well with my family.
It was very dangerous at that time for us to be together.
Metro Golden Mayer wanted to put her in movies. That ended. She lost a lot.
Her and I were married 10 years. I remember going to my daughter's room. She said, are you coming back this time, Mother? I had engagements. I was booked all over the country. And that's the way that I left.
She's amazing and a perfect example of how one can have a great career.
How are you, dear? Oh, my God. That's my child's father. She's just cut off all conversations with us. To this day, when I hit the stage, I see this little girl. She came out of all this turmoil, and I feel like that's me before everything changed.
That looks great.
Yeah, I was really excited to see this one. I thought it was a really interesting story. I felt that it was quite anemic. Like it was missing a lot. Like I was like, hey, interesting. She had a time with Elvis. What you see in that trailer is like almost half of what you actually hear about. You hear one story about him, and then we're gonna move on to the next thing. She had a little dalliance with JFK, and it's literally a paragraph. Let's move on to the next thing, and it just felt. Even the Betty Page stuff felt like it was very quick and stuff. I felt like there wasn't enough focus, and then when it came to the real life drama of trying to bring her her trying to reconnect with her daughter and her granddaughter and everything, not on Tempest's side, but on the other side, felt kind of coached. Like it didn't feel very real to me when it started to deal with the real life ramifications of the documentary.
Okay.
And I felt a little bit underwhelmed when I left the film.
Okay,
So
you wanted to hear more of her stories?
I did. I thought she was much more interesting than what we were being given on screen.
So did she leave her family?
Yeah.
She walked away.
She walked away, yeah. Yeah,
Mm.
walked away from her daughter. And I mean that's interesting. That's really interesting. And I don't know. I wanted more of that, and it didn't feel real enough. Like it felt like a lot of coaching on her manager felt very coached. When she actually did get through to the daughter even sounded a little bit coached on the other side, like coached into a confrontation and
that
everything.
does sometimes, I mean, that does happen.
Yeah.
When, in documentaries that directors, there is a lot of that goes on, just
I just
so
felt
they
it was
can keep a
noticeable.
focus in their film.
Yeah. I just felt it was a bit noticeable.
Was it
in this one.
noticeable?
It definitely showed its tell. You know what I mean?
Okay.
It was just kind of like, this is, kind of coached. So I kind of solid it on a 2 out of 5. I wasn't huge on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's too bad. 'Cause I
Yeah.
wanna check it out. So limited release.
It is limited release, and of course, this is just how I felt about it.
But if you're
honestly.
a fan of we know people who burlesque is really popular. So
Massively popular.
So if you're
especially
a
in our
fan of the
area,
scene, probably go check the film out
yeah,
for yourself.
definitely. Yeah, I think fans of that industry and of those shows and people that are involved in that stuff are going to just eat that up right away.
Because
For
she's very
sure.
popular in the community.
Definitely.
Right? So, by the way, American Movie.
American Movie. Oh, American Movie.
Is
yes.
the documentary
Yes.
about the two guys who
That's
make
from
the horror
like
film.
That's late 90s, isn't it?
1999.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah.
Hey.
Very nice. Very nice.
That's why I was looking down here quite a bit. It bugged me. You know how that happens?
Mhm.
Yeah, right.
Oh, for sure. We have one more review here, and it's a VOD review. So this is in stores right now on Blu-ray and on DVD, and you can find it on VOD. This is the new film with Ethan Hawke. Emma Watson is in this one. It comes from Alejandro Amenabar.
What?
Alejandro Amenabar?
Say it.
Alejandro Amenabar.
There we go.
He was nominated for Academy Award for The Sea Inside with Javier Bardem, and he also did the Nicole Kidman haunted house movie, The Others. This is his new thriller. It's called Regression. Take a look at this scene.
Angela, clear something up for me and these gentlemen. Why did you let the Reverend tell me what your father did? Why? If you already knew I was involved.
Because you don't remember, Grandma.
I've seen her.
I thought I was going
Hermione Granger?
crazy.
Or her?
No.
Because
Hermione
you
Granger?
walk around as if
I've seen her before too. Like 8
everything
movies.
was normal.
Little independent film.
Yeah, little
Harry Potter.
Pudding.
But then I realized
Pottsman.
Harry
Potter.
No, the film you're looking for is the Ron Weasley series. Oh, that's what it is. The Ron Weasley-led movies is what you're thinking she's from. Yes. Remember the ginger? The ginger? Oh, hi!
Yeah.
So I checked this one out, and it feels like there's a lot of like slow build-up with no payoff at all in this movie. It just felt so flat by the time you get to the third act. You're just like,
I don't care.
That's it. You didn't hook me. You didn't surprise me. It's just there, and it fell flat. I'm not the only person that believes this. Rotten Tomatoes 16%. Ouch. I know Rotten Tomatoes is a lot. You're grabbing from a lot bigger pool here to make that number. Metascore is 32, so they were a little less hatred. Yeah, they had a little less hatred towards it.
A little less, but still.
But yeah, you're gonna want to skip this one. This is probably not worth your time, even if you see it on Netflix. It's almost a waste of time. So, yeah, sorry everybody. But now we get to recommend stuff that we think is interesting rather than what's being shoved right in your face right now. And this is our Netflix VOD recommendations. Alrighty, so right on your Blu-ray player right now or on your VOD, you can now check out 10 Cloverfield Lane.
Yes.
The blood relative sequel to Cloverfield. And I have a quick clip for you right here.
This movie is fantastic. I really enjoyed it. One of my favorites of the year.
I love this movie.
John Goodman, one of his best performances.
Yeah, definitely.
And he's had so many.
Yeah, a lot of there was a website that was counting that was saying what's his best villain role, and he's had a lot of villain roles, and some very quick ones. But 10 Cloverfield Lane is a movie that you're gonna want to avoid any sort of write-up that talks about the story. and any sort that gives you any inkling to what's going to happen in this movie, because you want to be a blank slate going into this one. It's the best way to be. It's the way we went into this movie, and it is so ultimately satisfying in the end. Like it is just such a fully satisfying movie.
A little weird.
Yeah, a little bit weird. An original story that they crafted to be within this universe. Of course, with the
Cloverfield universe you're talking about.
Exactly. And of course, if you're going to go pick up the Blu-ray, it is chock full of special features, deleted scenes, extended alternate endings, all that kind of stuff, and commentaries. So it's definitely going to be a Blu-ray that you're going to want to check out.
Yeah, what was so special about this film is that, it was done under sort of secrecy. Nobody knew it was going to happen.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, there was a trailer that was released, and boom, we're going to see 10 Cloverfield Lane.
Exactly.
And it's probably what's going to happen for the next Cloverfield type film. Because apparently there's talk that this is going to be
this one
a
did
series
well
of
enough.
films. And I love that idea of just throwing something out of the blue with no one, no one's heard of it, that it was coming, and just out of the blue there's a film, Cloverfield film. I love that.
Yeah, I'm told.
This movie is super intense too. I see it stare at me on iTunes and tell my wife all the time, we need to watch this.
Yeah.
But she's just not too sure about it. But yeah, great pick, man.
Thank you, man.
Yep.
Thank you.
For me, I guess it would be Netflix. So I saw on Netflix Voltron, the legendary Defender. If you ever watched Voltron back in the 80s.
Definitely.
They had 2 seasons. That was it.
Yeah.
And I don't know if people back in the day have watched Voltron before, but you can find stuff on YouTube. Basically, these pilots that control these colorful little lions that make one sort of robot. And he's got a flaming sword, and he's out there fighting a Zarkon. And I think we've got a clip.
See, this is why we were so immediately susceptible to watching Power Rangers.
Yeah.
It's because we were preconditioned to be cool with it.
Yeah.
Right? And we probably just wanted more Voltron.
The animation is awesome.
Yeah, it's really solid. They animated it in Japan, right? That's badass, man.
It's cool.
Yeah.
I really dug it, man. Tyler Labine, Canadian, is actually in this. He voices Hunk, and he's really, really good.
Yes. Yeah, I always like him as a voice actor, and I was just a comedic actor in general. He's usually fun.
Yeah, local guy.
Nice.
Vancouver guy. So, like I said, the animation's really good. You can watch it with your kids, older kids, and not, that's what I do, so I can watch it with my daughter. So you'll like this, and so I can watch it. Really, that's really the reason why I do it.
Well played. This is the liberties we take as being parents.
Yeah, exactly. I just use my kid as an excuse to watch cartoons. And of course, if you're a fan of the old '80s cartoon, you're gonna like the new version. It's a nice spin. On it, and it's not a film. It's actually broken down into a bunch of episodes. So you'll probably see a second season. And Netflix keeps doing this original programming, which is great. I love how they're able to take some of the old stuff and make it new again.
Nice, very nice. So yeah, 10 Cloverfield Lane on Blu-ray, and Voltron, Legendary Defender is now on Netflix.
Won't disappoint.
No. All right, so now is fun where we get to be kind of newscasters, and we get to play this bumper, which I just fucking love.
Hello, and welcome back to another exciting news flash from Flix Anonymous. Tonight's episode is brought to you by Cannabis in Canada. Keeping cannabis in Canada.
And it all goes crazy just like our shit goes crazy.
We gotta do it does. Our shit does get crazy.
All right, so first things up in the news is Spider-Man Homecoming is continuing its casting before it goes to camera in a few months, and they added somebody that is very pivotal in the comic book world for Spider-Man.
Okay.
They have added former Community star and the Childish Gambino himself, Donald Glover, to the cast. And if comic book fans will know out there that Donald Glover was the inspiration for Miles Morales, which was the other Spider-Man they brought in. He was the Puerto Rican Spider-Man that they brought in.
Okay.
So this is interesting. We don't know who Glover's playing. We don't know if he's going to play Miles Morales, which would be hard to explain in the expanded universe now. So yeah, we're all up in the air about who Donald Glover is in this movie. I'm a fan of the guy. His stand-up comedy is on Netflix, Weirdo, right now, which is an older one that's very funny, which I believe he actually talks about being Miles Morales as well in that one, in that stand-up comedy special. But I have full faith in John Watts to make this movie very interesting.
Yeah.
So we're just shoring up casting and then going to camera. So we're getting close, it looks like.
Yeah, well, you're a fan of the Spider-Man, the new Spider-Man that
yeah, I am.
we saw that showed up in Civil War.
Yeah, I am. I'm a fan of his for sure.
We shall see.
Yes. All right. So the next one. So okay, as a kid, I loved the first two Beverly Hills Cops movies.
Absolutely,
loved them. Axel Foley is one of the best comedic action heroes. Yes, he's one of the best. We choose not to talk about John Landis's Beverly Hills Cop 3, which is an amusement park fucking mess. Just a fucking shit movie. Horrible movie. We just don't ever want to talk about that movie. But they've been trying to circle around doing a Beverly Hills Cop 4 for probably 10, 15 years now. Even as far as Eddie Murphy wasn't going to be part of it, and then Ice Cube was going to be brought in to be like the son of Foley or something like that. But a couple of years ago, Brett Ratner and Eddie Murphy made a film together called The Tower Heist with Ben Stiller, Matthew Broderick, a few other people. And during the press junket, there was actual talk that Brett Ratner was going to do Beverly Hills Cop 4 with Eddie Murphy. And this was also contingent on the fact that Tower Heist was going to make money. Well, Tower Heist flopped. And then all that talk just kind of flew out the window, and nobody talked about it. But now we have a director duo that are I have no idea who these guys are. I looked at their film. They sound like they have Eastern names.
Oh.
And I don't like Middle Eastern names, and I don't know what they've done before. But new guys brought in to do a big Hollywood film with Eddie Murphy.
Is this like another Canon Films thing where
I don't think it's canon.
Rich dudes think they're gonna make a movie? We're going to do Beverly Hills Cop 4.
But
we love Eddie Murphy.
But it's under Paramount, though.
Oh.
So, I don't know. A big studio believes in these two little guys enough to make a film with a guy that used to be a massive star. Like, as massive as Eddie Murphy still is to people, he's not a bankable star anymore. He's not that guy anymore. So this would have to be a resurgence of both that series and his career together to make this work. So Beverly Hills Cop 4, will it work?
Next we'll do Naked Gun.
Naked Gun, 42. Where's Leslie Nielsen?
Leslie Nielsen, yeah.
All right, so this last one, you probably don't know who Jim Mickle is, do you? He's a director, a filmmaker. He does independent thrillers, horror thrillers and independent stuff. The first film that I ever saw that he did was a film called Stakeland. It's a vampire film called Stakeland.
Okay.
It was on Netflix for a while. I really dug this movie. And then he did a remake of a horror film called We Are What We Are with Michael Parks in that one.
Mm-hmm.
And then the last thing I saw him do had Dexter, Michael C. Hall, and it was called Cold in July. And it was like this 80s style synth crime thriller, and it was just awesome.
What's it called?
It's called Cold in July.
Okay, I'm gonna check that out.
I just fucking love this movie so much. Jim Mickle's made 3 films. He's impressed me on all 3. Like, this guy is a really interesting filmmaker.
You got a Jim Nichols boner.
Jim Mickle.
Jim Mickle boner.
Jim Mickle. But now through STX Entertainment, which is now like this company that's really starting to make this huge studio push in North America, they've teamed Mickle up with Sylvester Stallone for his next thriller. And I'm really interested in this because it sounds like one of those deep, gritty thrillers. And the last time we saw Stallone do a film like this, he made a film called Copland.
Which actually wasn't bad.
Which is fucking great.
He was
the movie
really good.
is so fucking good.
I know.
So I kind of want another resurgence of Stallone, who was kind of robbed for an Academy Award this year. As much as I love Mark Rylance, that performance in Creed was just so fucking good.
Mm-hmm.
So let's give Sly another chance to be a caliber actor that we know that he can do every now and then.
Yeah, given the right material.
So yeah, Jim Mickles, new movie with Sly Stallone. We don't have a title yet. We don't have a storyline yet. Let's see where this one's going to go. So now, ooh, this is our favorite part of the show.
It's my favorite time.
Where we get to light up and tell you what our stoner picks are.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, I'm going way back into my time capsule on this one. I'm going back to like 15 years, because it's actually 15 years this week that this movie came out. And it's from the UK, and it's a film called Sexy Beast with Ray Winstone and Ben Kingsley. Check out a clip right here.
It's a biopic about me.
The Sexy Beast.
I don't know. I don't see anybody sexy right now.
This is a dream sequence within the movie.
Definitely looks like it's very stoner flick-ishy.
I'll explain to you kind of why I consider it a stoner flick.
Well, I can see already. Killer rabbits.
Very Darko-like, eh? Kind of reminds me of Donnie Darko.
It's not a movie you want to do on shrooms.
Yeah. You're just questioning your reality. We'll strap on that fucking guy.
Gee, Steve, why is that a stoner flick?
Okay.
You gotta really explain that.
Yeah, well, okay, like, this was one of my first DVDs I ever picked up. Within the first 20 DVDs I ever picked up. And I have a massive collection now.
You do.
But, well, when we used to hang out with me and my buddies, we used to, you know, blaze a shitload and watch films like, you know, watch gangster flicks, right? We'd watch fucking Scarface, Casino, fucking
Goodfellas.
Goodfellas, you know, just anything gangster related, Mean Streets, like anything, right? And Sexy Beast was the one I picked up. We blazed a bunch. We went to the video store and we started picking out movies. And I saw this one. I'm like, I'm just gonna buy this one straight out. So I bought it and I put it on, and it's this story about Ray Winstone. His character is a safecracker who's retired from the game, and he's now living in Italy. He's just tanning at the
trying to live a normal life.
Yeah, he's
gone straight.
He's fatter now. He's tanning all the time. He lives with his
That's what's
girlfriend.
happening to me right now.
And then his former boss shows up and he's like, "No, I have this job. You have to come back." And it's Ben Kingsley, and he was nominated for Academy Award for this movie too. And he is the most ruthless, badass motherfucker I've ever seen. He plays a character named Don Logan, and he basically coerces him back into doing this job for another employer that is even more ruthless, played by Ian McShane from Deadwood and recently Game of Thrones. This movie is fucking awesome. It is volatile. Things happen just that you cannot predict that are going to happen, and it is a British gangster flick that belongs on the top of the pile of British gangster flicks. Like it's in the conversation constantly when you're talking about those movies, and you know it's a smoke. You know, sit back and smoke and feel gangster as you're watching gangster shit go down. That's what I'm definitely feeling.
Who doesn't
on this
want
one.
to really?
Yeah, so that's why I'm recommending Sexy Beast this week, and it's also 15 years old this week.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'll see your Sexy Beast.
That sounds like a euphemism.
Yeah. I'll see your Sexy Beast, Steve.
Yeah, later.
Maybe, if you're playing cards.
YouTube
right?
won't allow it to show it right now.
Well, that's why we Periscope. We do Periscope, but I'm not checking out a Sexy Beast.
That's a fantastic segue, man.
Before our show, we do a little Periscope.
Yeah, not of my Sexy Beast.
We might get to that one day. Get more followers.
Sometimes we get bored.
Mallrats.
Yes.
Kevin Smith.
Yes.
Is my stoner flick from 1995.
Yes.
Way back, machine. What were you doing in 1995?
Oh shit, I was 14 years old.
Okay. So Mallrats, like I said, directed by Kevin Smith, was one of those films that I actually really enjoyed. See, a lot of people talk about Kevin Smith and talk about Clerks and how great Clerks was. I remember watching it in film school, and I was like, yeah, you know, Clerks is all right. It's okay. But I really kind of fell in love with Kevin Smith as a director after Mallrats. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Group of young people who hang out in a mall, and throughout the film, there's different little storylines that are going on. Anyway, let's run a clip. This is one of my favorite scenes.
Yeah, this is always good.
What's he doing? Oh, well, if you stare at this poster for a few seconds, a hidden picture appears. Can we do it, please? Please? All right, go ahead. But hurry, the Easter Bunny's waiting.
Wow, it's a schooner.
You dumb bastard. It's not a schooner, it's a sailboat.
A schooner is a sailboat, stupid head.
You know what? There is no Easter Bunny! Over there, that's just a guy in a suit!
Ethan Suplee has now lost his
Doesn't
shitload
matter,
of
it can't
weight.
happen.
Oh, really?
And he's like a
Impossible.
biking
Lois could never
enthusiast
have
and stuff
Superman's
now.
Jeremy
baby.
London.
Do you think her
Yeah.
fallopian
Jason
tubes
Lee.
can handle
Yeah.
the sperm? I guarantee he blows a load like a shotgun right through her back. What about her womb? Do you think it's strong enough to carry his child? Sure, why not? He's an alien, for Christ's sake. His Kryptonian biological makeup is enhanced by Earth's yellow sun. If Lois gets a tan, the kid could kick right through her stomach. Only someone like Wonder Woman has a strong enough uterus to carry his kid. The only way he could bang regular chicks is with a kryptonite condom. That would kill him.
How did I go from the verge of hot Floridian sex with Brandy to man of steel coital debates with you in the food court?
Kyrgyzstan is not part of the food court.
Well, of course it is.
The food court is downstairs. The cookie stand is upstairs. It's not like we're talking quantum physics here.
The cookie stand counts as an eatery. The eateries are part of the food court.
Bullshit. Eateries that operate within the designated square downstairs qualify as food court. Anything outside of said designated square is considered an autonomous unit for mid-mall snacking. Now, if you're gonna wax intellectual about the subject, holy shit.
Yeah, and just great, well-written dialogue by Kevin Smith throughout that. And, you know, there you have Jeremy London, Jason Lee, who are fantastic. They're in the mall. They're waiting for Stan Lee to get his autograph. And you got Shannon Doherty's in the film.
Jay and Silent Bob.
Jay and Silent Bob, for sure. Yeah, and so I really, honestly, Ben Affleck, I honestly thought it was one of his best films. I thought it was one of his funniest films.
He plays a character named Shannon.
That's
His
right.
character's name is Shannon, and he's an asshole. Yeah.
Definitely a stoner flick.
Oh, for sure.
That
yeah.
kind of humor,
For sure.
100%. So one of Kevin Smith's classics. If you haven't seen it, the reason why I brought it up is because Kevin Smith has got a Mallrats. Well, there was supposed to be a sequel, and it's now going to be a television show.
Yeah.
I'm not sure where it's going to be coming out for.
I'm not sure either.
I'm hoping Netflix.
Yeah, that'd be cool. But Kevin also has a pretty cool relationship going with the AMC, of course, with Comic Book Men and everything. So that's a possibility as well.
That'd be a good spot for it.
It's a possibility.
Yeah. So no Mallrats 2, now going to be a television show. So that'll be fun.
Definitely. All right, so that brings us to a close on episode 33, the Patrick Waugh episode of Flix Anonymous. I would also like to direct everybody to cannabisincanada.ca for my new article that dropped on our Couch Lock.
Yes, we do a thing called Couch Lock every week. One week I write something, next week you write something. Yeah. Sometimes we'll show something on video.
Yeah.
Which is kind of, it's all kind of falls within the Couch Lock entertainment sort of culture.
So this week I'm giving a little bit of an anniversary ode to Mel Brooks' History of the World Part 1.
Which is quite interesting reading it.
Yeah.
And was it the red Roman strain or the
Roman Red?
Roman Red.
Roman Red. Yes.
Roman Red
Gregory Hines can sniff out the Roman Red crop from miles away in his very first role on screen.
Yeah. So you can find that on Cannabis in Canada.
And that is actually where we're housed, where our show comes from. That's where you can find all of our back episodes as well. You can also find those on the leagueofmanchildren.com and the dailyhive.com. And what's going on next week? We have 7 films hitting screens, including the brand new Independence Day movie, Matthew McConaughey in his Civil War epic film,
All right.
Blake Lively fighting a shark,
I'd see that.
All in wide release. The limiteds include the return of Nicholas Winding Refn. I'm so excited for Neon Demon so much. Sam Neill and Jeffrey Rush in a new, really depressing drama. A very small indie drama called The Fits, and an East Indian documentary. That's what we have for you next week. Of course, I can be found at the Stevil Dead.
I'm at Trevor Dueck.
And we'll catch you next week on Flix Anonymous. Thanks, everybody.
Hey, you crazy cinephiles. Thanks for listening to Flix Anonymous. We can be heard weekly on fancitybuzz.com and leagueofmanchildren.com. Feel free to send us nasty and abusive social media messages on Twitter at FlixAnon. If you need more characters to tell us how much we suck, you can find Flix Anonymous on Facebook. Until next week, may your weed be sticky and your scotch be hoppy.